Hi, folks. I'm Richard Friedman. February 26, 2020 AT, after the acquittal of Trump. And every so often here, we get together for the cartoon countdown, the Trump political cartoon countdown, and we do the top, say, 6 cartoons on Twitter based upon impressions. I kind of tabulate the number of impressions, and then I categorize it, put it in order, and I present it to you in a cartoon, on my cartoons. And I just want to say to you that if you like my cartoons, you can basically find them on Twitter at Bronx Cartoonist at RJF Cartoons. And if you really like them, you can go out and get my book off my website. Here it is, my book. It has all the cartoons from July through December of 2019. It's called The Greatest 2019 Book of Political Cartoons on Issues of the Donald J. Trump Presidency. And you can see that I got, stuff in here, and you can have a good time with that. So anyway, you could get to that, and the link is there. It's basically Richard's Books of Political Cartoons.com. That's my website, and if you don't want to buy the book, just go there and have a ball. You can see, examples of all my cartoons that I have in my books, and just like a political Disney World. You can just go right through it, sail through it, and have a good time, and you'll enjoy it. I'm sure you will. And anyway, let's get to the countdown now. We do the top 6 cartoons in most recent days. Okay, starting off with number 6, numero 6. Okay, so here, let me introduce you to the characters here in this cartoon. Here's Attorney General Bill Barr. Here's his Justice Department. And here's President Trump. Okay, so we've got President Trump, Justice Department being carried out, and here's Attorney General William Barr. Now, let's have a go at it. Okay, I'm going to read this to you, and just as an introduction. Trump renews his public attacks on the Justice Department following the department's last week decision not to pursue criminal charges against Andrew McCabe, a former FBI deputy director, for what the president has called a baseless investigation into Russian election meddling. So in good part, the president blames Andrew McCabe for the Russian probe. See, so an example, Trump promoted to his nearly 73 million followers a tweet that said Attorney General William Barr should clean house at the Justice Department. So the president wants, I guess, the people who are not on his side in this division here to exit the Department of Justice. Okay, and argue that Trump can also appoint a special counsel directly, William Barr and the Justice Department, and argued that he could also have like Mueller, he could have his own, the president can have his own Mueller going in the opposite direction to investigate the investigators. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so here, this is the cartoon I did, and here we go, start off with here. Justice Department gets taken to the cleaners. And here we have the president here. Here's the president. This is what he's saying, and these are security people carrying out, taking it to a Chinese laundry or whatever you want to call, wherever they're taking the Justice Department to clean out all the bad elements. Okay, and you go, Bill, make sure you tell them to clean out all those dishonest, dirty cockroaches and those Comey rats, because the president really got down on Comey in some of his tweets. So I just took off his words that he used, and I don't recall exactly called Comey a rat, but he did use that word quite frequently, a little bit like James Cagney, you dirty rat, So anyway, so that's that. And here is, you heard his Bill Barr, you heard the president, and the guy's giving him thumbs up as he's carrying out the Department of Justice. to the cleaners. Okay, so that was numero seis, number 6. Numero cinco, number 5. Here we go, I'll read you the characters here. This is McGuire. Trump goes with fires acting director of national intelligence, Joseph McGuire. So he was the intelligence head, the acting intelligence head and he got fired basically by the president because the president got angry over one of McGuire's deputies who told Representative Adam Schiff that the Russians were coming basically to hack our system and influence the election through the media, social media, and what have you, is interfering in the 2020 election without informing him. You know, Trump was not informed that this was happening, that this head of the intelligence, Joseph McGuire, was going to go to the Democrats in the House and particularly, I'm sure, to Adam Schiff and kind of spill the beans and say, well, look, we believe that the Russians, we have evidence from all our intelligence agencies, impeccable proof, or whatever. But they had, it sounds like they had it. We don't see it, but it seems to be like a unanimous point throughout the intelligence, all the intelligence agencies, that the Russians are continuing to do this. So the president got very angry that he wasn't consulted prior to that, and the president doesn't really have those sentiments. At least he hasn't expressed it. The best he has been able to do is to say nothing. He says, well, I ain't going to talk about it. You know, I'm not going to say the Russians did it. I ain't going to say the Russians didn't do it. That's how his evolution has gotten to that point. Prior to that, it was a little fat man, a big fat man on the bed who could have been doing it. So he's evolved from that stand to the point where, who knows, you know? Maybe it's somebody from up there in Jupiter or Mars, but you can't say for sure, but it might have been, might not have been. So he's evolved to the point where he won't, the president is not denying the possibility, let's put it that way. So anyway, so what happens here is that I kind of put together a conversation, and they say that the president, according to reportedly, that the president really got down in the Oval Office or in the White House conference with McGuire and really chewed him out over that. Because it wasn't McGuire himself, it was one of his deputies who did this, you know? So it's hard to imagine, even that he didn't have knowledge about this, and he's the head boss there, so he's taken the axing on that one. So and here is the characters here, and here we got McGuire, President Trump, and Vice President Pence over here. You see, he's just like the straight man, Vice President Pence. He's just there, you know. He's there, like just like well, use your imagination. He's there, okay. So anyway, so here's what happens here. Here's the president dressing him down, and here's McGuire sitting there in the hot seat in the Oval Office, and the president says to McGuire, your staff is a bunch of scum disloyalists. They gave lying, cheating, shifty Schiff misinformation. It's the great Russian hoax that Russia is working to help me get reelected. All started by Democrats to politically damage me for the 2020 election. Your name is now McGuire Wax Job. Well, there is a McGuire wax that I always used to wax. Well, in my younger days, I used to wax my car with McGuire wax. That's how I remember that. But it was M-E-G-U-I-R. So it sounds the same when you say it. So I injected McGuire Wax Job. Like the wax, McGuire Wax Job, you're fired. So President Trump has a affinity for taking people's names and applying it in different ways. So with McGuire, I figured he might have gone for McGuire Wax Job. You know, McGuire Wax Job, you're fired. So that was that cartoon here. That was numero cinco in impressions on Twitter. There we go. Okay. numero cuatro, number 4, numero cuatro. Okay, now, here are the characters. Here's President Trump, and here's Bill Barr. This is a very recent one, just done, actually. A Trump possible White House conversation with his Attorney General, Bill Barr, after the president lashed out and demanded recusals from Supreme Court Justices Sonia Sotomayor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, following Sotomayor being critical of his administration's frequent appeals for the Supreme Court to step in. In other words, Sotomayor was kind of getting upset over the fact that every time that a lower court rules against the president, he takes it to the Supreme Court. You know, it's just like somebody who buys something in a Publix or whatever, or A&P or anywhere, and he says, well, you know, I don't like the thing, and so he brings it back, and he argues, and he says no, and then he takes it to the headquarters of the organization. So it's just like not taking no for an answer, kind of like. So basically, that's what happened there. So that the president, Sotomayor, was getting pissed because the Supreme Court was taking their referrals, and she felt that they were leaning in the direction of favoring President Trump, and that there was no basis in all of them being accepted by the Supreme Court for reconsideration. So Sotomayor got a little upset about that, and she voiced it in her dissent. So the president went out and kind of lashed back at her, and brought in Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because Sotomayor had said that spoke against the president, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg had spoken against the president, and Sotomayor just didn't fire back at her for speaking against the president. It's in this cartoon here. So let's just have a look at this, and here we go. Here we have the President Trump, and a conversation about this incident with the Attorney General, Bill Barr. Okay, they're there in the Oval Office, and President Trump kind of trying perhaps to work with the Attorney General on putting the handcuffs on the Supreme Court in some way, you know. Anyway, so here we go. Let's have a go at it. Here, okay, so here's Bill Barr in the Oval Office. Mr. President, I agree with your tweet that, because the president tweeted about this, that it was also terrible for Justice Sotomayor to never criticize Justice Ginsburg when she called you a faker. But we can't with the Supreme Court. It could even lead to a second impeachment, you know? I mean, I'm sure if the people in the House had concrete proof that the president was screwing around with the Supreme Court and making all kinds of threats, that would be round two, you know? I don't know, but they would certainly consider it, probably. So anyway, I guess that would be like the epitome of obstruction of justice when you mess with the Supreme Court. That's like the epitome. That's like messing with. I mean, that's the foundation, the way our founding fathers put up our system of government. You know, the Supreme Court was supposed to be the supreme decider, and so anyway, here's the bottom line. Here's the joke, Bill. The crooked Dems have learned their lesson. You know, he's saying if they try to impeach me, I don't think they will, because they've learned the lesson from the first time they tried it and it didn't work. You see, so it's like that's what they're saying basically. And Susan Collins had said the president had learned his lesson and he wasn't going to be show any disrespect and this and that, and he'd be very much in line. Susan Collins said that. So now it's on the other way. The president is saying here that the Democrats have learned their lesson. So he's flipping the tables to say, well, I think they learned their lessons. You know, never mind about me learning my lesson. kind of like Susan Collins, oh, the president learned his lesson. So when she voted, anyway, so on the impeachment trial. So anyway, this is a cartoon that I did, and there you have it. I want you to know that I'm just trying to make you laugh and not to form your own opinions. I tried to kind of cool it on injecting myself into these cartoons as much as I'm humanly capable of doing, you know? So anyway, here we go. Now, this is, here's numero 3. Here we have Nancy Pelosi. We have Nancy Pelosi, and we have the president, and then the president, one of the president's earlier physicians, who gave him a clean bill of health in about 5 minutes, stating that he was in excellent physical and mental health, and it took about 5 minutes to do, and that's the characters of this cartoon. So here it goes. A conceivable Trump response to Nancy Pelosi, who blasted the president's, quote, dangerous pick for intelligence chief to replace McGuire. Ambassador to Germany, Richard Grenell, who has no intelligence experience. It's unanimous that Richard Grenell does not have any intelligence experience, and he's taken over the helm of our intelligence, of the U.S. intelligence. So basically, I don't know how that's going to work. He's acting, but, you know, the president likes acting, so he could be there for a while, acting for a while. So you never know. Mulvaney is acting. He's been acting a long time. I always joke that someday he's going to get an award from the Motion Picture Academy for the longest acting role someday. So, the Oscar. So anyway, who knows? So here it goes. Nancy Pelosi commenting on Richard Grenell without experience being put at the helm of the U.S. intelligence. That's 17 agencies that he has to coordinate. He has to coordinate their efforts, and he has to prioritize what's happening, what's not happening, what we need to look at, and he doesn't have any experience. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Anyway, so here we have Nancy Pelosi saying, it would be like sending me in for brain surgery. Nancy Pelosi, it would be like sending me in for brain surgery. And then we have the president saying this here, or you can read it yourself. Okay. Nervous Nancy needs brain surgery for her slurred speech. Rudy Giuliani, my personal attorney, even tweeted last May that her speech pattern is bizarre. And I know the doctor who could help her. He'd be fantastic. And here he is, the doctor who he has in mind, which was his own physician from way back, who gave him a clean bill of health. He has a scalpel there, and there he is with his symbol, his finger symbol. But I don't quite know what it means, but I've seen it a lot around in some sort of a, whatever it is, but, so, okay. Okay, now we're coming down to the second most popular cartoon on Twitter, which was this here. This is Bernie Sanders, now the front runner for the Democratic nomination for president, giving mixed reviews on Fidel Castro reign in Cuba. So we have Fidel Castro, we have Bernie Sanders, we have President Trump here, and this is a dream. Here's President sleeping, and he's dreaming about this, where he's debating Bernie Sanders in a debate, or not, no, he's not debating here. This is at a pep rally, okay? It's a pep rally that the president's having a dream about a pep rally that he's giving here, okay? And here you see we have here, Keep America Great. And there's everybody with their T-shirts and hats and whatever. And that's the dream, with Bernie smoking a cigar with Fidel and the president dreaming about this pep rally. Okay. Trump has fantastic pep rally. Bernie Sanders' dream following Sanders' front runner for the Democratic nomination, saying it's unfair to say everything Fidel Castro did was bad. I mean, that's a direct quote from Bernie Sanders. And the president's below tweet. So here's the president tweet right here. Okay. Looks like Crazy Bernie is doing well in the great state of Nevada. Biden and the rest look weak, and no way Mini Mike can restart his campaign after the worst debate performance in the history of presidential debates. Congratulations, Bernie, and don't let them take it away from you. Okay, that was February 22nd. And then following that tweet, I kind of theorized or put together a scenario where the president has a dream and he's at a pep rally, and he alludes to Bernie Sanders having a smoke-in with, here's Bernie smoking it up with Fidel. A picture, let's say, that he discovered and he brought forth with it at the pep rally. Okay, so now, this coronavirus is really nothing to joke about, but I didn't mean to joke about it. I just making a point here, and you take it the way you want to take it, and here it goes. This is the ship, Diamond Princess. And there's people having a good time on it now. Follow me here. I consider the coronavirus a very severe threat, and I'm not joking about the situation. But I'm making a point, and you take it the way you want to take it here. Here. And here I'll read the cartoon introduction to you. Trump has fantastic dream that all passengers aboard the coronavirus plagued Diamond Princess cruise ship got well after the president cast coronavirus as a problem that's going to go away and is under control in the U.S., despite a sharp rise globally. Now, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, has come out with it and sadly they say at this point, it seems inevitable that it's coming here, and I mean, it's just, we're in a world that we can't be in a cage isolated. We're not in an iron cage, and to say, well, it's a little reckless at best to say that we're okay and we're not going to, the idea is it's under control when it hasn't come here yet, and it's inevitable that it will get here. So it's just like saying we're having a terrible hurricane, and the hurricane's under control, but it's still out to sea, it hasn't come here yet. So, I mean, that's kind of like the gist of it. So anyway, here's President Trump having a dream, basically, about the situation. This ship based in Japan, and here's people on the ship, kind of having a good time. This guy's swinging a badminton. Another guy is spinning a ball, looking out to sea. And there's the captain flirting with a lady passenger, and everything is copacetic. Everything's beautiful, So that was number one in this group of cartoons on Twitter in terms of impressions. Okay, folks, so that wraps up the that wraps up the countdown for my cartoons. I hope you enjoyed them, and until the next countdown, you take care and just keep an optimistic lookout, and just do the best you can, and don't let things get to you, and just hang in there. And always say this, I don't want to make anybody mad or anybody angry at anybody. I just want you to laugh, have a good time at this, and then go and think things out and make your choice on your own. And that's what it's all about. And so I am going to say to you, you have a good day, rest of the day, and hope to see you again on the next countdown. Take care, folks. Bye.